Y'all, this is probably the most crazy story. It's the most insane thing I've ever been through. During this story, I'm going to be changing people's names. I may change people's gender. I may change people's like association. Like I may say this is someone's brother when it's actually their sister. I don't want any hate to go to anybody, and no one knows my personal life. So unless these people expose themselves, you'll never know who it is. Last week, I got very nasty messages on my Instagram saying that I was ugly, that I look like the sloth from Ice Age. A failure, my YouTube would never take off, and I don't have a real job. Just very strange things. I didn't think anything of it because as a YouTuber, I've gotten comments like that before over the years, especially like when a video goes viral. You get comments like that and it doesn't bother me. Like my mom's side of the family is from New Orleans, my dad's side is from Baltimore. Like you cannot hurt my feelings. Like those are like the shit talking capitals of the world.
Yeah, that's a stupid ass question.
But if you're going to drag somebody, you need to say something that's real. Like you need to make someone feel it. So it's like some people have said in the past that I thought were really funny. I look like a Great Value FKA Twigs, a knockoff Tinashe. I look like Sway Lee's like long lost sister. I look like an Avatar. I look like Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory because I have a short torso and long legs. So the sloth from Ice Age, I didn't understand. I was thinking, who is this? Because it was a fake Instagram. I was like, this must be a guy who is from Bumble who I just unmatched with, because he DM'd me and was like, why did you unmatch me? Like a weirdo. And right after he DM'd me that, I started getting those hateful messages. I was like, oh no, it's him. Like I know it's him, I just know. So I go on my Insta story and I'm laughing with my like followers and I'm like, y'all drag me. Teach this guy how to drag. Let's name this person. What are we gonna name this person? Gloria. I'm gonna need to write these down. Gloria. So Gloria DMs me and she's like cussing me out like crazy. She revealed to me that she is my ex's current girlfriend's friend. That's who Gloria is. I need to now start back a year ago to explain everything that happened. The one thing about me is I'm not a homewrecker. I do not ruin people's relationships. I have never been like the other person in a relationship, nobody's side, never. You can never say Aaron Thompson ever was involved in anything knowingly of that sort, never. Now let's go back in time. I was dating this guy from November 2018 to November 2019. We were very on and off. He wasn't very nice to me. It wasn't a good fit. I felt like he talked to me crazy and I do not allow that. I think he needed someone who was gonna allow him to talk to them that way. He wanted me to like soothe him through it and like walk him through it. I'm like, just don't talk to me crazy, but he couldn't do that. I tried a million times to be like, do not talk to me like this and like this is why, but he just kept doing it over and over. So I just have no patience anymore. I'd rather die alone. So I think he needs someone who's like desperate to be with him, because I don't care. We break up in November 2019. A couple months later, maybe like even a few weeks later, he starts dating someone else. It's like him. He cannot be alone. He's a serial monogamous. So my ex, we're gonna call him Lewis. And then his girlfriend, we're gonna name her Katie. It's the first thing that came to my head. All these names. I can't remember how I found out, but I didn't know if it was serious. I had no idea because I don't care. Like we're both moving on. March comes around. And I remember this night because it was the night that Tiger King came out. I get a text message from Lewis. He texted me something strange. He texted me like a song and he was like, yeah, this is your song. And it wasn't my song.
Hi, this is Editing Aaron. The song was Problems by A$AP Rocky. He and I have never discussed this song. I have no idea what the hell he was talking about.
He wanted an excuse to talk to me. And I was just like, just tell the truth. Like, I think that you are comparing me because the way his conversation, I can't remember if it was just a text message conversation or a phone call because I delete my text messages and I don't have any proof. But I was sent the text message. I said, tell the truth. I think that you're comparing me and the girl in y'all's current situation. Like you're not happy in your current situation and that's why you're comparing me and her. Because I didn't know if they were in a relationship. I didn't know if they were just talking. I didn't know if they were just like having fun. Like I had no idea because I don't care. That's what I meant by situation. Well, then 2 months later in May, he texts me again or he calls me. I can't remember. And he was like, hey, like me and that girl are done. I'm not happy with her. She doesn't make me happy. I'd really like for you to come over. We're 8 weeks or so into quarantine. So I was so bored out of my mind. I had nowhere else to go. I was just like, okay, like, and this is my ex-boyfriend. Like, this is not some random person. I was like, okay, like I'll come over. So May, I go over there. We didn't do anything. We kissed, but nothing further than that. I slept over and I left. I remember saying to him, I hope you didn't break up with this girl for me because I can't give you anything. And he was like, no, I did it for myself. Like, she just doesn't make me happy. I was like, okay. So the next day he calls. You could tell that he was trying to be something more. And I just wasn't having it because he didn't treat me well. He was like, what would you rate me on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as confidence? I said a 3. And he was like, oh my God, he was so upset. Like I told my friends later, they were like, Aaron, that's really mean. I still don't think to this day that's mean. I didn't say his looks were a 3, I said his confidence is 3. He's like, why'd you say it was a 3? And I said, 1, when I was with you the other day, like when I went to his house, he literally was begging me to do more. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. He was begging, like beyond annoying begging. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I don't like you because you're mean. I'm really just over here because I'm freaking bored. And I said, and during our relationship, you weren't nice. Like a confident man doesn't beg and a confident man doesn't treat people unkindly. And ever since then, I think he backed off because he was very upset that I said he was 3, which I don't care. And I'm glad that I said he was a 3 because wait to the story, like, oh my God. I was introduced to Lewis by a very good friend of mine. We're gonna say Lorenzo. Around July, it was Lorenzo's birthday. A few days before my friend's birthday, Lorenzo's birthday, I found out that Lewis and Katie were back together. I didn't care. I don't give a shit about your life. So I called Lorenzo like, happy birthday. And I tell him, I was like, yeah, you know, your boy, I hung out with him March, May, da da da. So I told him exactly what happened in March, May, because this is my friend of 20 years. I'm telling y'all everything in chronological order, but there were certain things that I didn't know until last week. One part that I didn't know till last week was that Lorenzo told Lewis what I said, which I don't mind. It sounds messy, but Lorenzo was like the kindest person ever. He was just kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Lewis ran back to Katie and told Katie that I was talking trash about their relationship. He didn't have the balls to tell Katie the truth, which was what I said, which is what happened in March, May. That's what I told Lorenzo.
It's very important to the whole story to remember that Lewis lied to Katie in July. He said that I was talking trash about them, which I was not. I was telling my friend Lorenzo what happened in March, May. Keep that in mind. Lewis lied to Katie in July and did not have the guts to tell her the truth.
I did not know this until last week. So then months pass. So then September comes and it is Lorenzo's wedding. And it is on a Saturday. But on Friday, the day before their wedding, they had a dinner. And then the day after, on Sunday, they had a brunch. So at the dinner on Friday, it was at Lorenzo's house. I go, not thinking anything of it. I was a little nervous, like what is it gonna be like with Lewis and Katie there? And when I got there, I felt crazy. I have never been jealous of anyone. I have never regret not being with someone. And it was crazy because the second I saw Lewis and Katie, something inside of me was like, whoa. I don't know what it was. But the feeling at the time, I know what it is now, but the feeling at the time was, oh my God, I think I made a mistake not being with Lewis. And what was insane about that is like, I don't give a shit about Lewis. Like nothing. I could have been with him. I thought he was single and I could have been with him. I never talked to him, like nothing. And so it messed me up inside because I was like, this isn't right. Like I remember y'all, I remember in June praying on my knees and saying to God, I'm so happy that I'm not with Lewis. Like I remember that I was like, and I even wrote it down in my freaking diary. I was like, Lewis is not my person. Like I'm so glad I'm not with him. When September came and it was the wedding, I was like, oh my God, do I like Lewis? The feelings got so weird and I was so confused that I left because I felt like Lewis was checking for me. I left, went to the front of the house with my sister, and I was like, Alex, we gotta get the hell out of here. Like, I feel crazy. So I left my keys at the table. So Alex went back inside to get my keys, and Lewis ran up to Alex like, is everything okay? Alex was like, yep, everything's fine. Kept it moving. Alex grabbed my keys. We were leaving. Lewis runs up to Lorenzo and says, Aaron's leaving. Why, if you have a girlfriend, why are you concerned about what I'm doing? And when I tell y'all, I literally just got up and walked away. Lewis was nowhere to be found at this time. Like I didn't even know where he was. He was inside, I was outside. But he was checking for me to see where I was. That even confused me more. Lorenzo comes out. I even told Lorenzo, I was like, I feel confused. He was like, do you like Lewis? I was like, hell no, but my feelings are crazy. So then the next day the wedding happens, everything was fine. And I remember being like, I do not like this person. So why am I acting crazy? Why? I remember going in the bathroom and I remember praying and saying, God, show me a sign that this guy is not for me because I know he's not my person. I do not know why I feel like this. Literally 5 seconds after I walked out the bathroom, a party guest, I won't even say their gender, walked up to me and said, you know, Lewis never cared about you. He only cares about Katie and he's going to buy Katie a ring. Like the party guest literally was like mean, like the meanest person I've ever experienced. So I didn't go to the brunch the next day because I was just like, I never want to be involved in someone's like relationship. And like, I'm thinking Lewis is still feeling me and I'm confused, whatever. So now in hindsight, because I've been in therapy for months now, and what I've learned through therapy and self-reflection is that weddings, which I did not know, weddings bring this out of you, and you start thinking in your mind like you should be married. Lewis in my mind, what triggered seeing Lewis in my mind was I should have been married by now. I'm 29, almost 30. I should be married. And Lewis is the person I could have been married to at this time because he asked me a year ago about a ring. So that was what triggered me. It was nothing to do with liking him, which I thought might have been, but I was like, I knew in my soul it wasn't because I was so happy not being with him. It was just that he represented marriage, and I felt like I missed out on getting married. I call Lewis a few days later. I felt like I still didn't realize yet about the marriage situation, like what Lewis represented. I still didn't know, but I called him because I wasn't doing well. Like I really was like overthinking everything. I called him and I just said, hey, you know, like I want to apologize for my part in our breakup, even though I should never have done that. I just didn't know what was going on. I called him and I was like, hey, you know, I'm happy for you and your new relationship. I said, you know, does Katie know what happened in March, May? And he was like, yeah, she knows. I told her the reason why he told her was because I did not show up on Sunday at the brunch. She asked Lewis, why did I not show up? So he said he confessed to her what happened. And I was like, oh, well, how did she react? And he was like, you know, she didn't take it well, something like that. I just said, I hope you're really happy. And that was the end of it. Thanksgiving comes around. So I go to Thanksgiving with Lorenzo and his family. We're all at the table and I'm like, oh, how's Lewis doing? Lorenzo was like, yeah, he's happy. There were other people at the Thanksgiving table who were also talking about Lewis and Katie and their relationship and had not the best comments to say. That wasn't me though. It was not me. So it was a 5-minute conversation and that was the end of it. At Thanksgiving, this party guest walks up to Lorenzo and says, did you know that Aaron walked up to Katie at the wedding and caused a scene? That never happened. So the party guest tells this to Lorenzo. Lorenzo doesn't tell me that this is something that happened. Then Lorenzo calls Lewis to tell him what happened again. So Lorenzo has learned he cannot tell Lewis anything because Lewis then goes and tells Katie. He tells him everything that happened that night. Lewis takes it as Aaron's talking shit about me and tells this to Katie. That is when the storm came and the friend started cursing me out. She said I was talking trash about Katie. Like, this is not high school and you're talking about you trying to beat me up. Like, what are you talking about? They bring up the March May situation and say that I hooked up with Lewis in March May. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm like, well, nothing happened. Y'all weren't together. So what is going on? I had to get a new battery. My sister had DM'd Katie all the messages that Gloria was saying. Katie didn't care at all. Katie was kind of matching that energy, like cussing at my sister, told my sister to eat shit. But it was crazy. She was like, you can have Lewis. I'm done with him. It was just the craziest thing. And I was like, why am I involved in this? Katie is DMing my sister that I'm a liar, that I said that I walked up to her at the wedding and I never did that. And my sister's trying to explain to Katie, then Katie blocks my sister.
She also told my sister that she didn't know about my existence until the wedding, which is a lie because she told me to my face that she used to follow my hair videos. Okay.
I messaged Lorenzo, I messaged Lorenzo's wife. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I getting cussed out by Katie's friend? Like, what is going on? Lorenzo is like, oh my God, I think that I must have messed up. I told Lewis that you approached Katie at the wedding and I was like, I never did that. They were like, he was like, I don't know why this party guest lied to me. And I was like, but still, that doesn't warrant the way I'm being treated in these text messages. And why is May being brought up again? I knew somebody was lying and there was a link that I was missing. I get a text message the next day from Lewis. He asked to have a conversation with me, him, and Katie. I said, yeah, I will talk to you all, but I will not be subjected to the way that Gloria has talked to me and the way that Katie has talked to my sister. I will not be subjected to that. I'll talk to you, but only if I get to talk to you, Lewis, first. And he didn't answer. He didn't respond to my text. So I just sent him everything I wanted to say. I was like, look, I never was with you this year. You told me that you didn't like the girl and that y'all were not together in March. At first, I thought it was March, but it apparently was March and May, which is worse for him. I saw you one time and we did nothing. And I don't know why I'm getting all this hate all of a sudden, especially when you've already told her what happened. I was like, I have nothing to do with y'all. I never walked up to Katie at the wedding. I never said that. The party guest said that. And I don't know why that person doesn't like me. They just hate me. They're making up lies. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm like, don't call me. Great. So then he literally calls me when I'm like, don't call me. He calls me and he's like, hey. And I was like, hey, like I saw you in March. I did not see you in May. He's like, no, I saw you in May, blah, blah, blah. You hit me up in March texting, and then you hit me up in May, and that's when I came over. He's like, yeah. I was like, well, that's even worse. You hit me up twice. I was like, I don't know what's going on, this and that. And I said, I know your girlfriend's here. I'm not stupid. And then Katie comes in and she's like, yeah, I'm here. You think you're all big and bad because you were pillow talking with Lewis. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're always talking shit about me and my relationship. And
so again, the 2 times that Katie thinks that I was talking shit about her was in July when her man lied and said I was talking shit. I was not. I was talking about what happened in March, May. She's talking about the second time I was talking shit, which was during Thanksgiving, which I was not. Lewis is telling Katie things that are not true.
We were screaming at each other, like screaming for 2 minutes at each other on the phone, and I was just like, this is all out of nowhere. I do not talk shit about y'all. She's like, yes you do, Lorenzo said you do. And I was like, no, I literally I don't talk trash about you. You're getting it from Lewis, who is not telling you the whole thing. He's lying. Finally, it calms down. I don't remember how it calmed down, but I get to explain what happened and how I did not know they were together, because she was very adamant that I knew they were together. I did not know. So now it seems like they were together, but he was lying to me, saying that he had broke up with her. So I told her everything. I told her everything I just told you. I told her the timeline. I told her what I said. And he's not saying anything. He's just in the corner.
I guess I can see it kind of do look like a sloth. So then we get to the part where you already knew about March, May. So why is March, May coming up?
And he told me during that phone conversation that I had with him after the wedding that that's when he told you the truth. And she was like, well, let me tell you, Aaron, he did not tell me the truth. He lied. He basically said that we had a phone conversation. He never said that we kissed. He never said that I slept over. So he told her the truth after I allegedly was talking shit about him at Thanksgiving. He felt compelled for whatever reason to tell her the truth. And what I think the reason he told her was because she was pushing him, because she knew he was lying. For this whole time, she knew he was lying, but she couldn't prove it. So she used the excuse of my name continuously coming up to pressure him, and he finally told her the truth. And that is why I was attacked. They think that I was with him when they were together knowingly. And my thing is, I did not know. From May to like July, I had no idea that he was back with her, and I still did not text him. When I found out that he lied, y'all know the Beyonce, Solange, Jay-Z in the elevator scene? I was Solange cussing Jay-Z out. And Beyonce, who was Katie, was just sitting there letting me do it. She let me do it because at the end, I felt like she believed me. I don't know. I'm sure she probably still hates me. Seems like she believed me because I even asked, I was like, why are you mad at me? Why are these girls mad at the girl? You should be mad at your man. I would never do that. I even said that to her. I said, listen, Katie, I said, I would never be the other woman ever. And I have no loyalty to you. And I still wouldn't do that to you. But he has all the loyalty in the world, and he would still do that shit to you. I knew the fact that because she was screaming at me and was on the phone and three-way, I knew she was gonna stay. Because no woman who is about their shit and won't allow a man to treat her like that would be calling the other woman. But I don't care. Go do you. It has nothing to do with me. I have no idea if they're together. I don't care. I don't know. If you think that Lewis was on the phone like, hey, I'm still with Katie, you want to come over? And I was like, sure. You would think that I would get up and go, are you freaking insane? So the only thing that anyone could maybe be mad about is I called someone in September who was in a relationship to get closure. It's funny because when I was in a relationship with Lewis for that year, he did the same thing with his ex. He called his ex for closure. Yes, he did. And I think he actually took her out to dinner. I think it's easy for some people to point the blame at the scapegoats so that they can remain in their relationship and be like, oh, that it was her who did that. Your man did that to you. And he is disgusting. That's my story. I hope you enjoyed. But I want you to leave in the comments, like, are there anything that's happened to you like this? Have you been accused of something that you didn't do? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.